Right, this is going to be a quick video on just how to use GitHub in Visual Studio. All right, so the first thing is you need an account on GitHub, so make sure you sign up with GitHub. The first time you use it, you might run into some problems, but I'll explain that. So I've obviously got a GitHub account here. All right, so I'm already signed in. Now, when you add to source control Git here, that's the very first thing you do. Before we do that, this is Oscar is coursework, so thanks Oscar for letting me use this. He didn't give me permission, but I'm sure it's fine. Contact me in comments if it's not. Right, so Git, click Git there, and then if you're not logged in, it'll ask you to click there, and as long as you're logged into GitHub on the web, it will authorize it and everything's fine. Okay, so I'm going to click create and push, and that's all good. Okay, now make sure, if you can't see Git changes, make sure you've got that. Now you can get that by view Git changes there. Okay, now as you notice, this is uploaded to GitHub now, and you notice all of these are blue now to show that they are uploaded. Now you notice it doesn't matter for most courseworks, but for some it will. The fact that it doesn't do bin debug. So in order to get it to do that, you need to find the git ignore file. Now in order to do that, just go to open containing folder. Okay, and then if you go up a level, you should find you've got git ignore. So I'm going to do this anyway. So this is for those of you that are doing Windows Forms applications, and you've got a database in the bin debug. You'll need to change that. Otherwise, you don't need to worry. Okay, so let's just open up the git ignore. Now, basically, what this is telling it what folders to ignore. So by default, it will ignore debug and bin. So we're going to tell it not to. So, which is fair enough. And then the bin is there as well. Now, because I've changed that, what will happen is the Git changes will now have extra stuff in it, right? And these are a lot of his doesn't have a database there, but that's fine. So we're now going to select changed Git ignore. So every time I make a change or big change, I need to do this. So I go to Git changes, write a change, and then click sync, committal and sync. Right, so those changes should disappear. That's good. Now, if this is the first time you've done it, you'll have to make sure you have to verify your email. Okay, apart from that, that's fine. So it's syncing those. Now, actually, that's probably not a good idea because there's a lot of images in there, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Now, if I go back to GitHub now, you can see I should have, if I refresh that, should have one called Tool Machine. There it is there. And you can see change git ignore. I wrote got ignored by mistake, but it's now. All right, so we've done 3 commits so far. Right, so there we go. That's all good. Now, so if I do, I'll just show you if I do another change. So I'm just going to change, this is open, so let's just change it. Just going to put a comment here. And if I look at that, you can see there's now changes gone in there. And if you go to Solution Explorer, you'll see that there's a red tick to show that. So if I want to commit that change, obviously you would do many more changes than that. So like at the end of a lesson, so we're now going to go, okay, then I've added a comment. Okay, and I do again, committal and sync, save. There we go. So that's now uploaded. Now you can view your history. Come on, you can do it. Right. So if you go to Git, view history, branch history, and you'll see all the changes we made, and you can revert back to earlier ones on that. I'm not going to go into that today. Right. So that's how I'm working at college at the moment. That's all good. Now let's assume I'm working at home now. All right, so let's close that down. Now, if you now want to access that on another machine, you need this web address here to access that. All right. So what I'm going to do is open up Visual Studio. And this time, when I get the option, I'm going to clone a repository. Now you've got to be careful. When you do this at college, it's going to try and save it to the C drive. This is I'm not worried about. Okay, that's fine for me. All right. So now, I'm basically, this is on the same machine, but we're assuming this is on a different machine because I've got this in there. So I'm going to paste that, click clone, so it'll now pull that from the okay, now shouldn't take too long. Right, so imagine this is a different machine to the one that I just uploaded to it. So I go to Solution Explorer and it's all good, probably. Now sometimes it won't load up as expected, but this one has. Sometimes you have to double click on the SLN or the solution file to get it to load up properly, but that's fine, it's worked. Now let's say I then go and into the class, where is it, the connector class there. So I've got that comment in there, let's get rid of it. So I've now changed that, that's now gone red. I'm now going to say, right, okay, changed comment, okay. And then I'm going to commit all and sync. Save that. Okay, so now I've done some changes at home. So they're now getting pushed up to the internet. It's pretty slow on this one. And then if I now close that down, refresh that, you should see I've now got 5 commits now. Change comment was my last one. Okay, now so let's pretend I'm back at college now, and this is where it's going to get confusing because it's basically it's all on the same machine at the moment, but we'll so I've got one in the repos file. Okay, come on. Right, so that was on. Yeah, that's the right one. Now, so when I go into this one, this is not going to be up to date. So you can see there, it's got the comments there that I got rid of. So what I want to do now is, because I've got changes on the thing, I just click sync here, and then that will sync this with what's on the GitHub website. So we should find that that comment disappears any second now. Here we go. Could be quicker. There we go. Do you see that where that went there? All right, so we're good now. So if I go to Git view branch history, if I'd done that just now, it wouldn't have. It would still be on that one there, but now it's got the added comment. Okay, and that's essentially how you do it. It's good. All right, there's not more you can say about that. It's a better way of doing it. All right, that's it. Thank you.